We intend to contact Brendan Depa himself, who's now 18, to see if he would like the national movement to save black boys to represent him in trying to find another attorney to appeal the case and the conviction. So we're not going to quit. We're going to stand with this young black man because that's what we do. You should have the 504 accommodations. In fact, if I look back on my college career, I should have probably went and got 504 accommodations because I used to suffer from test anxiety myself. Brothers and sisters, today is the Black Parent Teleconference. Today is the Black Parent Teleconference. For the next 2 hours, I will help black parents navigate the tricky, dangerous, and deceptive world of mental health and education. If you have any questions to ask about children, we're only dealing with the children. We're only dealing with the children. If you have any questions about the children, please text my number with your first name and your city, your first name and your city, your first name and your city, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858. Text your first name and your city. Text your first name and your city if you have a question. Autism, ADHD, speech and language, intellectual disability, reading disability, math disability, IEP, 504, psychological evaluation, occupational therapy, physical therapy, psychological counseling, ADHD, conduct disorder. If you have any questions at all, brothers and sisters, you can text your first name and your city to 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858. Make sure you hit the Cash App, $FDMG School. Make sure you hit the Cash App, $FDMG School. Make sure you hit the Cash App, $FDMG School. Make sure you hit the PayPal. My international Africans, hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy, paypal.me/FDMG Academy, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. So, before we get started, a couple of announcements. Before we get started, we have a couple of announcements. First of all, the Brendan Depa protests will go forward. The Brendan Depa protests will go forward this Wednesday, January the 31st, at the Kim C. Hammond Justice Center in Bunell, Florida, from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. We will rally. We will stand in unity and solidarity. We will stand in unity and solidarity. I'm hoping to see my Jacksonville Africans at the Brendan Depa protest. I'm hoping to see my Central Florida Africans at the Brendan Depa protest. We have brothers and sisters flying in from Texas, California, the Caribbean, UK. I don't know if it's going to be 5 of us, 50 of us, or 500 of us. It doesn't make a difference. We're going to stand for that young black man. Now, we understand that the attorney for Brendan Depa, has petitioned the court to delay the sentencing. Last Friday, the attorney for Brendan Depa petitioned the court to delay the sentencing. Why he waited to the last minute, we don't understand. I'm not going to question him too much because I'm not an attorney, but I don't know why he waited until the last minute. Perhaps it was done to sabotage the rally, but we're going to go anyway because the judge has not decided. The judge has not decided. The judge has not decided. Therefore, as of right now, Brendan Depa is still scheduled to be sentenced at the Kim C. Hammond Criminal Justice Center in Bunell, Florida on Wednesday, January the 31st. And we're going to rally outside from 9 until 1. And we're going to go inside at 1 p.m. and witness the proceedings. If he is sentenced to an unjustifiably long amount of time, We intend to contact Brendan Depa himself, who's now 18, to see if he would like the national movement to save black boys to represent him in trying to find another attorney to appeal the case and the conviction. So we're not going to quit. We're going to stand with this young black man because that's what we do. It's about activism. It's about activism, brothers and sisters. So I'm hoping some of you are going to come and stand with Dr. Umar on Wednesday. And if you don't come stand with me, I know exactly how important black children are to you. I know exactly how important black boys are to you. I know exactly how important fighting against criminal injustice and the oppression of black children is to you. If you need the flyer for the Wednesday protests in Bunel, if you need the flyer for the Wednesday protests in Bunel, you can text me for the flyer 215-989-9858. If you need the flyer for Wednesday's protests, 215-989-9858. And then on Thursday, the lecture in Jacksonville. For all my Jacksonville Floridian Africans, for all my Jacksonville, Florida Africans and North Florida Africans, I want to see you on Thursday. We're going to talk about the Brendan Depa case. We're going to kick off Black History Month in the honor of our ancestors. We're going to talk about black male-female relationships. We're going to talk about the political crisis, the upcoming election, black economics, African spirituality, black on black self-hate, black on black crime. We're going to talk about the sexual trafficking of black women. We're going to talk about all the issues that affect African people, not only in America, but across the diaspora, because we recognize we are members of an entire African global family. The African empire is always represented when I open my mouth. In Jacksonville, we will be at the Scottish Rite Cathedral. In Jacksonville, we will be at the Scottish Rite Cathedral on Thursday, February the 1st from 6 until 9. The doors open up at 5, and that's 29 West 6th Street. 29 West 6th Street in Jacksonville, Florida. The event is absolutely free. The event is absolutely free. The event is absolutely free, brothers and sisters. So I want to see Jacksonville, Florida. Let's represent our ancestors on Black History Month on the first day. Even though America is trying to kill Black History Month as a prelude to destroying black people, the show will go on, brothers and sisters. Black History Month begins in Florida. Black History Month begins in Jacksonville, Florida. So we got Bunel, Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, Wednesday and Thursday, back to back. And then Savannah, Georgia. I will be standing in solidarity with my fellow Ifa devotees, my Oyotunji African village family. I want to see all my traditional African spiritualists in Savannah, Georgia. I want to see the whole black community in Savannah, Georgia on Saturday, February the 3rd. Saturday, February the 3rd from 6 p.m. until the second annual Gullah Geechee Grand African Ball. I said the second annual Gullah Geechee Grand African Ball. I said the second annual Gullah Geechee Grand African Ball will be in Savannah, Georgia at the Dr. Priscilla Thomas Annex, 460 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard Annex Building. 460 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard Annex Building behind the Mark Ralph Gilbert, brothers and sisters. Mark Ralph Gilbert Museum. And I removed the phone number. Hold on now. I can't be sabotaged. Let me pull up the good sister's phone number. I accidentally removed the phone number. I'll be moving too fast. The phone number for the second annual Gullah Geechee Ball in Savannah, Georgia on Saturday, February the 3rd. If you need more information, 912-349-7435. That's 912-349-7435. If you want to be a vendor at the second annual Gullah Geechee Grand African Ball, if you want to attend the second annual Gullah Geechee Grand African Ball, brothers and sisters. You want to call 912-349-7435, or you can email Savannah. The email is long. You could text me for the email. But the phone number you can text is 912-349-7435. If you need the flyer, you can text Dr. Umar at 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. If you need to text Dr. Umar, brothers and sisters. I'm noticing that we have a lot of psychopathological Neanderthal energy on the chat, but we're going to stay focused. We have a lot of psychopathological Neanderthal energy on the chat, but we are going to stay focused. We have a lot of psychopathological Neanderthal energy on the chat, but we're going to stay focused. So that's the Gullah Geechee Grand African Ball. You can go to Eventbrite. If you want the Eventbrite link to buy your ticket, you can text me for the flyer or the link. If you want the Eventbrite link to buy your tickets for the Gullah Geechee Second Annual Grand African Ball for Saturday, February the 3rd, you can text me for the link. And then on Sunday, all roads lead to the Black Wall Street Market in Stonecrest, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. I said on Sunday, February the 4th. On Sunday, February the 4th, from 11 until 5, the Prince of Pan-Africanism will be at the new Black Wall Street Market. The new Black Wall Street Market in Stonecrest, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. And that address is 8109 Mall Parkway, Stonecrest, Georgia. 8109 Mall Parkway, Stonecrest, Georgia, for the new Black Wall Street Market. If you want to be a vendor at the new Black Wall Street Market Economic Conference featuring the Prince of Pan-Africanism. If you want to be a vendor at the new Black Wall Street Markets Economic Conference featuring the Prince of Pan-Africanism, you want to call 770-462-9613. You want to call 770-462-9613. You want to call 770-462-9613 for Sunday, February the 4th, 11 until 6. Dr. Umar will speak around 2 o'clock. Dr. Umar will speak around 2 o'clock, but I will be there all day. My Georgia Africans, if you need to talk to me, my Atlanta, Georgia Africans, if you need to pull up on the Prince, come to the new Black Wall Street Market. The new Black Wall Street Market, a whole mall full of African businesses. We are building institutions because institutions are 50% of the solutions. If you want to be a vendor, you want to sell your food, you want to sell your clothes, your shea butter, your African products, then you need to give a call to 770-462-9613 or send a text message, brothers and sisters. If you need the Eventbrite link for the free event, at the new Black Wall Street Market, you can text King Kong Consciousness, Dr. Umar Ifatunde, at 215-989-9858. So we got Bunnell, Florida protest. We got Jacksonville, Florida Thursday night, Black History Month kickoff. We got Savannah, Georgia Saturday night for the second annual Gullah Geechee Grand African Ball. And we got Stonecrest, Georgia, the new Black Wall Street Market on Sunday from 11 to 6. And the Prince of Pan-Africanism will be there. And then we go to Oakland, California. And then we go to Oakland. Where are my Bay Area Africans at? Where are my San Francisco Bay Area Africans? I will be coming to Oakland on Saturday, February 17th. I will be coming to Oakland on Saturday, February the 17th for the Black Parent Know Your School Rights Boot Camp. Black Parent Know Your School Rights Boot Camp will be in Oakland, California from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Doors open up at 8. From 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Doors open up at 8. From 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Doors open up at 8 on Saturday, February the 17th in Oakland, California. We will be at the Church of All Faiths. 2100 Fifth Avenue in Oakland. 2100 5th Avenue in Oakland, 2100 5th Avenue in Oakland, the Church of All Faiths. Oh yes, brothers and sisters. If you need to register for the Black Parent Boot Camp in Oakland, you must go to DrUmarJohnson.com. Tickets are $50. Go to DrUmarJohnson.com. Tickets are $50. Go to DrUmarJohnson.com. Tickets are $50. Lunch will be provided. Snacks will be provided. Your training packet will be provided. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oakland, Richmond, Antioch, Sacramento, Portland, Oregon. You need to drive on down. Where my Portland, Oregon Africans? You need to drive on down to Oakland. Seattle, Washington. You need to drive on down to Oakland. Oh, yes. My Central Empire, California Africans, my Los Angeles Africans. If you didn't make the Long Beach boot camp in 2020 before COVID, you need to come on up to Oakland. My Las Vegas Africans, you need to come on over to Oakland. You don't have to live in California to come to the Oakland, California Black Parent Boot Camp. You can come from the Caribbean islands. You can come from Alaska. You can come from Hawaii. You can come from Jersey. You can come from the UK. You can come from Africa. You can come from Europe. It's open to all Africans, brothers and sisters. Deadline for registration for Oakland Boot Camp will be Thursday, the 15th. If you are not registered by Thursday, the 15th, you will not be registering. Are you listening, California? Are you listening, Oakland? Are you listening, Antioch? Are you listening, Richmond? Are you listening, Sacramento? You must register at DrUmarJohnson.com by Thursday, February the 15th. We have to have a count for the lunch. We have to have a count for the lunch. We have to have a count for the lunch. Oakland, California, I will see you soon. Sacramento and Antioch, I enjoyed you last weekend. Sacramento and Antioch, I enjoyed you last weekend. Jacksonville, Florida, can't wait to see you. Brendan Depa, we coming to stand with you, young brother. Keep your head up. Savannah, Georgia, Oyotunji African family in Savannah, Georgia at the Gullah Geechee Grand African Ball Saturday night. Great Black Wall Street Market in Stonecrest, just outside of Atlanta. Oh yes, Black History Month will never die. Black History Month will never die. Oakland, California, Saturday, February the 17th. Black History Month will never die. We're about to get into the call for the parents. Let me show you what else we got real quick. Real quick. Minneapolis, February the 8th. That may not happen. Kalamazoo, Michigan. On February the 20th, I will be speaking. Kalamazoo, Michigan, I will be speaking. On February the 20th in Kalamazoo at one of the universities. I will announce that later. Kalamazoo, where my Kalamazoo, Michigan Africans at? Where my Lansing, Michigan Africans? The Prince of Pan-Africanism will be speaking at a university in Kalamazoo on February the 20th. Oh, yes. Kalamazoo, I'm on my way. Oh, yes. Kalamazoo, Michigan, I am on my way on February the 20th. Raleigh, North Carolina, February the 22nd. Raleigh, North Carolina, February the 22nd. Guadeloupe in the Caribbean islands. I'm supposed to be in Guadeloupe on February the 24th. I'm supposed to be in Guadeloupe on February the 24th. I'm in Philadelphia March 1st for the Comedy and Consciousness comedy show. Where my Philadelphia Africans at? My Pennsylvania Africans. I'm going to be hosting the Comedy and Consciousness event. Come and have a laugh with some of the top comedians of the East Coast in Philadelphia on March the 1st. If you need the flyer for the Comedy and Consciousness event going down in Philadelphia, you can text me for the Comedy and Consciousness event. Oh, yes, brothers and sisters. Comedy and Consciousness in Philadelphia on March the 1st. And then on March the 2nd, I'll be in Massachusetts, not Boston. I think I'm going to be, I forget the city. I'm going to be at a university in Massachusetts on March the 2nd. Ghanaian Independence Day, where my Ghana Africans March the 6th. New Orleans Africans March the 23rd. New Orleans Africans March the 23rd. New Orleans Africans March the 23rd. Florida A&M University Black Psychology Conference March the 25th. Florida A&M University Black Psychology Conference March the 25th. Charleston, South Carolina on March the 30th. Memphis, Tennessee for the Dr. King Memorial on April the 3rd. If you need the flyers, you know how to reach me. Also, we are going back to Africa for the 7th annual Dr. Umar group tour. Who's going to Africa with me? Who's coming to Africa with Dr. Umar for the 7th annual Prince of Pan-Africanism group tour? We going to Ghana, Gambia, and Senegal. We going to Senegal, Gambia, and Ghana. We going to Gambia, Senegal, and Ghana. The last week of July, the first week of August, get your passports. The last week of July, first week of August, get your passports. The last week of July, first week of August, get your passports. Oh yes, only 45 Africans. If you've already been to Africa with me, you cannot go back. I want all new Africans. I want all new Africans. If you've ever worked with me in any capacity, you are not allowed to go on this trip. This is for new Africans only who have never had the opportunity to work with or be around Dr. Umar. I want new energy. I don't want old energy. I want new energy. I don't want old energy. There will be 45 seats. One is for me. 22 males, 22 females. 22 males, 22 females. 22 males, 22 females. We going to Africa. Oh, yes. We going to the beach. We going to the Goree Island slave dungeon. We going to the Jufre Island of Gambia. We're going to eat some African food. We're going to visit the Prempeh Museum and the Kente Cloth Museum and the Wood Carving Museum and the Bead Factory and the Cape Coast Dungeon, Slave Dungeon, and the Elmina Dungeon, and the Asan Mansour Slave River. And you're going to get you a real African name, and we're going to deactivate the coon chip. We're going to deactivate the coon chip in West Africa, brothers and sisters. And I'm going to speak at the University of Ghana. And I'm going to speak at the University of Ghana. And I'm going to speak at the University of Ghana. Brothers and sisters, we must get organized. Information for the Africa trip will be out second week of February. Information for the Africa trip will be out the second week in February. Information for the Africa trip will be out the second week in February. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to see if we got any questions about the children. Podcast interviews, documentary interviews, lecture scheduling, 215-989-9858. Or email drumarjohnson@yahoo.com. Go to my website. You can email me directly through the website. Let's see who we got. You got a grandson graduating from high school. He should be reading Miseducation of the Negro. He should be reading Black Labor, White Wealth, Claude Anderson. He should be reading The Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. But you don't respect white people who clearly, how do you do that? I think it's possible to not respect someone without hating them. I don't know who told you I hate people. I never said I hated anybody. So we're not even going to deal with that. Post your February on social media. You can text me for that. I'm looking for parents with questions about their children. Explain the dangers of promiscuity and being sexually active. That has nothing to do with the Black Parent Teleconference. I'm looking for Black Parent Teleconference. My partner is a Black mental health provider. How do we get her name out there to let the Black community know she's available in Florida? She should come to one of my events and she can tell the people about her business. Show up to one of the events. Okay.
Hello.
Good morning, Sister Shamara. How's Detroit treating you? It's okay. Okay. Talk to me. What's on your mind? What's your question for your child today?
Well, we was talking about the same thing recently as far as autistic children and no centers and stuff where we don't have any like centers or recreation learning centers. When I was a kid, even here in Detroit, we did have certain things, school programs and stuff that was funded for specifically for children with special needs, autistic children, just like, but we don't have too much of that. I didn't really get to see the beginning of your life.
I just started.
Okay.
I just made announcements for my upcoming events. I'll be in Kalamazoo, Michigan on February the 20th.
Okay. Got it on my phone. In Kalamazoo?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what exactly was the what exactly was the plan as far as, you know, if we were interested in getting our kids into some type of, you know, program or like I didn't really get to hear the end goal or.
Well, okay. Well, this call here, Sister Shamara, is for parents who have questions about their children. So if they have a question about the autism or the program relating to it, so that's what this is. This is the Black Parent Teleconference. I've been doing this for maybe about 10 years now, 10, 11 years, and I just try to make sure I'm available as a resource for parents who can't always get professional, expert advice on issues involving their children around education or mental health. So they call in and they ask questions about, you know, special ed, IEP, classroom racism, grading, promotions, discrimination, ADHD, conduct disorder, you know, learning problems, anything at all, suicide, depression, family issues, anything involving the children. They ask questions and I give them the answers.
Okay. So how long did you guys have? I've never known about this line or anything. Or
you've never known about this?
No.
Yeah, I've been doing it for about 10 years. You probably haven't. How long have you followed my work or supported my work?
I'll say for as long as I've known about you, maybe about the last 3 or 4 years.
Okay, the last 3 or 4 years. Okay. Okay, so you probably didn't know about it. Yeah. This is what I do. I'm the only black psychologist in the country who does this for free, helping out parents on the Instagram live teleconference.
Well, you don't know how appreciated you are. Like, people love you, so you're doing some things right. But I'm gonna store this number because I didn't know that this was a line, an open line to, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's
I was actually in Detroit for Kwanzaa. You must have missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there Saturday, Kwanzaa. It was jam packed at the church there in Detroit for Kwanzaa. But I'll be back in Detroit soon though, so
right.
I'll be sure to store you.
Kalamazoo is one thing, but Detroit is a whole nother. So we need an extra visit. We might need an extra visit. What is the event space in Kalamazoo? Because that's about a few hours from Detroit. It's not.
It ain't that far. It's about no more than 2 hours, more like 90 minutes. Because it's about an hour from the airport. Maybe 2 hours. Maybe 2 hours.
Yeah, because we're an hour from the airport. Detroit is actually an hour. And I've been to Kalamazoo a few times. It's just like it's at least a couple hour drive. But yes, we can call and get the information about the event space in Kalamazoo, or because you said February
20th. Text me around the 15th and I'll have it for you.
Got it. Okay, thank you, brother.
Okay, Queen. No problem. God bless you. Happy New Year. All right now. Okay, family. This is for parents with issues. Let me see what we got going on here. Don't Don't call my phone. Text me your name and your city. I will not answer. Don't call my phone. Text me your name and your city. Follow directions.
Hello?
Good morning, Queen. How do I pronounce your name? Is it Sadaqua? Sadaqua?
Sadaka.
Sadaka.
Yeah.
All right. How's Washington, D.C. treating you?
It's fine, thank you. I just saw you in Chester at the hotel.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. With my brother, Bigger Dre.
Yes.
All right. All right. Now, are you based in D.C.?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Powerful. I was just in D.C. 2 days ago. I did a podcast interview with the brother Tony Kyle, and I went to the Sankofa bookstore near Howard University's campus, and the students of Howard University just showed me so much love. I took one picture, the next thing you know, we had a line all the way out the door. It was nothing but love, man. They bum rushed me with love, the students of Howard University.
Yeah, I think I saw you when they were saying HU.
Yes, yes. So shout out to my Howard University students. I don't know why the Howard University has never allowed the students to bring me on campus for a lecture. They've been trying to get me there for years, and every time they try to get me up there, there's somebody blocking on the administration of Howard University. But sooner or later, we'll make it happen. But go right ahead with your question, beautiful.
So my son, he's actually a sophomore at Alabama A&M.
Powerful.
And prior to that, well, me being informed, he had an IEP because he had a great vocabulary, and they could never explain this. So he had extensive vocabulary. However, his reading was slow, and because they were testing him, it would give him anxiety because he knew that they were testing him and that he had to read a certain number of words, per minute.
Okay.
So fast forward, so he eventually tested out of his IEP. That was his whole thing, that he wanted to test out. So we worked very hard with him to test out his IEP. So they had suggested that he have a 504 when he goes to college, just to give him extra time with testing in case he has anxiety. So my question is, should he continue to use this 504 in college?
If he needs to, there's no harm in it. White people do it all the time. When I was working on my doctorate degree, I had to do some practicum in the Center for Brief Therapy. And so I did evaluations for medical students, psychological evaluations for medical students who wanted 504 accommodations. Now, half the time, nothing was wrong with these medical students. But guess what? The psychology department, for reasons of white privilege, gave them the 504 accommodations anyway, even though they didn't even need them. So my question to you is, yes, your son can only benefit from the 504 accommodations in college. If he doesn't already have them, he just has to go to the disabilities accommodation office. Every college has one, and tell them that he would like to be evaluated, for 504 accommodations. He got them in high school and he needs them now. And the primary thing that he wants is extra time to take his tests. And so normally they will grant him by virtue of the evaluation 2 times as much time, 3 times as much time, sometimes 4 times as much time. So basically the benefit of the 504 is it eliminates the timing of tests. It allows you more time, especially if you suffer from anxiety where you're always worrying about, the test and how soon you're going to get done and so forth and so on. You should have the 504 accommodations. In fact, if I look back on my college career, I should have probably went and got 504 accommodations because I used to suffer from test anxiety myself. Not a whole lot, but I think I might have suffered enough from test anxiety where the 504 accommodations would have definitely, been to my benefit. So I see nothing wrong with any black student getting 504 accommodations in college because it allows you more time to finish. And that's what white folks do. That's why a lot of white parents, they get their children 504 plans in high school so they can have extra time for the SAT and extra time for the ACT. I think black parents should do it as well. But because of racism, I do want to be honest, because of racism, a lot of white psychologists don't give our children a 504 accommodations. They'll give them to the white students, but they won't qualify the black students for them either. But he should go for it. He should definitely go for it. And because he did have an IEP in high school and he got those accommodations in high school, that's a very strong argument for him to get them now. Well,
but before he left high school, like I said, he tested out his IEP.
It doesn't matter. He still got it at one time.
So they set up everything in high school because I was very hands-on. They set up everything in high school before he left so he can have his 504. So his first year at Alabama A&M, he did everything he was supposed to do, and they gave him the 504. But every year, every semester, you have to reapply. So he said he put in the paperwork, but I just wanted to know if it would definitely be beneficial. And I know that a lot of white parents also use it. But I always tell him, like, it won't hurt you. It will help you.
I agree. And it doesn't matter if the IEP was discontinued. The fact that he got the accommodations at all at some time in his grade school career, that's still a precedent for him, potentially getting it in college. It's not automatic, but the fact that he got it at any time always serves in his interests when getting evaluated for it again in college.
Well, thank you for your call, and I appreciate it. Can you come back to Everlasting Life? How about there?
Oh, yeah, I'll be coming back. Dr. Baruch and I, we've been in touch. I'll be coming back there.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and have you heard of Sister Sean?
Sister Sean. I know a lot of sisters by the name Sean.
Okay. Sister Sean speaks, but she has a 1-hour radio show on Sankofa Radio. But I was just wanted to plug her in, and maybe you can get on her radio station.
If she reaches out to me,
okay.
Yeah, we might make it happen.
Okay, well, thank you for your call. I know you have a lot of people that you have to contact, but thank you.
No problem, Queen.
For taking the time to contact me.
No problem. God bless you.
Oh,
all right.
God bless you, please.
Okay, I'm going to have you. Ronnie from Bowie. Ronnie from Bowie, I'm just going to call you because you wrote a long book. You can just ask the question.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sister Ronnie. How's Bowie, Maryland treating you?
It's going.
All right. Tell me, what I know you text me something, but I didn't read it because I decided to just call you. So tell me what's going on. Take it from the top.
Sure. So
go right ahead, Queen.
Okay, so my daughter, she's 13 and currently in 8th grade. However, through her entire elementary career, she struggled. And I guess in kindergarten, her teacher noticed something and never mentioned it to me and started doing interventions in the classroom. And once I found out, I was totally upset. And, we moved forward, and then, we started noticing, my husband and I started noticing that she was just having challenges. She's very intelligent, but she was just slow moving, meaning like it took her sometimes hours to complete homework assignments that would possibly take someone else maybe 20 minutes. And so it's been very challenging. And so in 3rd grade, we had her, we completed the survey, and then her teachers completed a survey and then took her to a psychologist. And the psychologist diagnosed her with ADHD.
And what grade was she in when the psychologist diagnosed her with ADHD?
3rd grade.
She was in the 3rd grade. And why did y'all decide to take her to the psychologist for the ADHD evaluation?
Because it was taking forever for her to complete her, what I would call easy assignments.
Okay.
And,
That doesn't mean it was ADHD though, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, so it was very frustrating. It was so frustrating. We would be like, I would be in tears helping her with her homework. And so that's what the doctor diagnosed her with. But she really didn't even meet with her. She had this one meeting with all of us, and then she was like, okay, she has ADHD, and boom, that's it. So then we took the diagnosis or the paperwork to the school, and then they gave her a 504 plan and gave her the accommodations with like extended time on assignments, extended time on testing, and so forth, frequent breaks and stuff like that. And then she's been using that ever since, but that's not helpful. It's not helpful at all.
Okay, and you said she's been using what? Okay, the 504 accommodations.
Yes.
Okay. What grade is she in now?
She's in 8th grade now, and her grades are pretty decent. I mean, mainly A's and B's. I mean, I don't really care about the grades. I want her to, I want her to learn as much as she can and have a great background, educational background. But it appears that the teachers are very frustrated, and we are frustrated in the house because she's and this is just from me doing research to help out in the household. I feel like she has executive functioning challenges. I feel like she's time blind. I feel like she doesn't know how to initiate any tasks. She needs a lot of prompting, and it's very frustrating in the house. So I asked the school for somebody to help her with executive functioning. We're just out here. We're just here. We don't know what to do.
So she's never had an IEP?
No.
She might need one. Because, if she's struggling to keep up.
She doesn't think she's struggling.
Say that again?
She does not think she's struggling.
Okay, but regardless, if she's struggling, then she might need an IEP. Because, if she has trouble learning because of these issues, then that's a qualification for special ed. I mean, I don't like to see our children in special ed unless it's absolutely necessary. But if what you're saying is true, it may be necessary. But what I recommend that you do is that you get her a neuropsychological evaluation. Okay. You can have the pediatrician write that prescription for a neuropsychological eval, or you could just find, depending on your insurance, you can just find a neuropsychologist and have them evaluate your daughter. But to me, it sounds like she needs a neuropsychological eval. Now, with that being said, I do want to say this. Please rule out emotional problems before you even go to the neuro. If it were me, I would get her maybe 3 or 4 sessions with a counselor, therapist, a psychologist first to make sure she's not emotionally preoccupied with other things going on in her life. Because I have seen situations where the parents think the child has a neuropsychological deficit, executive functioning issues, which do exist and can be the case. But I have seen children suffering from extreme depression, anxiety, family issues, abandonment, and they will present just like a child with a true neuropsychological deficit. So make sure there's not other things on your baby's mind that can more accurately account for why she's losing so much processing time in getting the work done. Because in my work with children who have been abused, not to say your princess has, but in my work with children who have been abused, they present like they're neurologically deficit, and they're not. They're just preoccupied with the trauma, reliving the abuse and everything else. So just make sure it's not an emotional issue that we're ignoring or overlooking, and that, where this could best be solved with therapy versus special ed. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay.
But if that's not the case, you definitely want to do the neuropsych at this time.
Okay. So get her to 3 to 4 counseling sessions to exclude.
Yes.
Any other.
You just tell them, we may be getting her a neuropsychological evaluation, but I just want to make sure that this really isn't a case of her being preoccupied with some emotional issues that she may be going through with her parents and not talking about it with her siblings, with herself, with her peers. I just want to make sure she's okay emotionally before we consider other reasons for why it's taking her so long to get her work done.
Okay. And then after that, possibly go to the neuropsych eval.
Yes, ma'am. A neuropsychologist. See if you can find a black one, but we don't have that many black neuropsychs, so you're probably going to end up with somebody who's not black.
And then what would come from a neuropsych eval?
Well, the neuropsych eval is a more in-depth psychological evaluation. So they're going to look specifically at the neuropsychological processes involved in learning, which include, as you already mentioned, executive functioning, memory, processing. They're going to look. It's putting a magnifier. If I was to use a medical comparison, let's say you have the dentist and then you have the periodontist, right? So the dentist is going to look at your mouth and the dentist might say, okay, you got some gum issues, but I'm not expert enough to really tell you what the gum issue is. So if you get her a regular psychological eval, psychologists may say, it looks like she may have some executive functioning deficits. It looks like she may have a memory impairment. It looks like she may have some processing challenges, but I can't really be certain. The neuropsychologist is supposed to help confirm specifically what are the neurological areas that are contributing most to your daughter's learning problems.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And then once that is determined, or the neuropsych eval is completed, and they possibly do say, yes, she has executive functioning and memory issues.
Then you will take that evaluation to the school, and then the school psychologist will conduct their own evaluation, considering heavily the results of the neuropsych, and she'll likely end up with an IEP. I mean, she's probably going to qualify for special ed without the neuropsych, but because the neuropsych evaluation is much more qualitative and much more comprehensive, given what you're telling me, I think she would be best served with the neuropsych as opposed to guessing by the school psychologist.
Okay. So my thing is, okay, so when I think of an IEP, I think of special education, meaning like, the kid, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, but the children that were in like the smaller classroom sizes when I was in school, they needed a lot of help, and they didn't necessarily. She's in honors and she's doing well. It's just that it takes her.
Then that just may be, an impairment of hers that we have to live with. So if she don't have any learning problems, she can't qualify for special ed anyway.
Right.
So it just takes her longer. I mean, if that's just the way life is going to be, then that's just the way life is going to be. But when you said you were complaining and the teachers was complaining, I thought she was struggling academically. But if her grades and everything are adequate, then the 504 is all she could qualify for. And I think that's all she would need. We just have to learn to live with the fact that she takes more time than everybody else. But if she's an honors kid, if that's my child, we're not getting no evaluations. We just recognize that, this is what's going on. And because you're telling me that, I'm more inclined to believe that it's an emotional problem.
Yeah. So if that being said, then what? Have her go to therapy?
Yes, take her to counseling and see if she got an issue that need to be addressed. Now, if they don't find anything, then this is just going to be a natural issue that she has. It could be an executive functioning deficit. It still wouldn't hurt to get a neuro, just so you know for yourself, not for special ed purposes, because she wouldn't qualify for that. But it still wouldn't hurt to get a neuropsych eval, just so you know, and just so she knows, going forward. And when she gets to college, that neuropsych can also help pave the way for her to get the 504 accommodations in college as well. But if she ain't got no trouble learning, then she's not qualifying for special ed. So there's nothing more we can really do on the school level. But just so you're clear on what's really going on and just to pave the way for her to get, 504 accommodations in college, I think the neuropsych may still be a good thing.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I didn't think she had any academic, and that's why I was like, when you were saying IEP, I was like, hold on now. But I do appreciate you helping, because my husband and I are like kind of sort of at odds. He doesn't seem to think she's or doesn't seem to think she needs anything, and I'm like, no, she needs someone to kind of help her just understand the world operates a little bit differently. Like I want her to be successful, whether she starts her own career, like her own business, and gets a job. But she can't function if she can't function on time. She can't. I just don't want her to fail. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, I would get the counseling. I think there's something else going on here that we don't see.
Okay.
That's what I would start with.
Thank you so much. And so I will be looking forward to seeing you at Everlasting Life.
Mm-hmm.
When you return to the PG County.
Yes, ma'am.
Or the DMV, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Queen. Take care. If you have a question about your child, education, or mental health, you can text 215-989-9858. Megan. Houston. Let me call.
Hello?
Sister Chantel, how you doing, Queen?
Peace and Pan-Africanism.
Peace and Pan-Africanism. How are you, gorgeous?
I'm good, man. It's early. You be working all early for us. I appreciate you, my brother.
I appreciate you also.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you for the consultation that you allowed me to take with you on how should I say, affordable route a couple months ago. And I've been following up on the strategy. I've been running with the game plan in regards to my son. I'll just give you a rundown because I know you speak to thousands of people. My son, Jazim, he's 5, and the school initially, he's in kindergarten, and the school initially came to me like, called me up. Is there something going on in the home? I'm like, excuse me, what are you talking about? I'm at work. She's like, your son, he's screaming out of his ears, I was like, well, miss, it sounds like he's just having, a tantrum. He's in kindergarten. Oh, well, is something going on? What's going on? I'm like, miss, nothing's going on. Oh, we need to do IEP. We need to do that. I'm not saying that he has anything wrong, but we need to do this. We need to get him the help he needs. And I'm like, okay. So I was like, just taking a step back. You know what I mean? Not trying to make an emotional decision. And I was just thinking about the situations and going over your chats, and I reached out to you. So the game plan with the neuropsych evaluation, I reached out to Black psychologists doing my research via the directory, but it's very hard to get through to them. I've been emailing. I got through to one. I don't remember her name off the top of my head. And her secretary, they seemed very willing to help, and she did do the neuropsych